Hi there, YouTube friends and family. In today's vlog, I'm going to talk about a subject that has really broken my heart. I know I should have made this video much sooner, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. On June the 4th, Lucy, and those that follow my channel know who Lucy is. She's been in most of my videos, whether it's a cameo or whether she's just walking back and or whether she's just walking back and forth in the background. But Lucy was getting old. I actually got her on July the 4th, 2009 at a 4th of July celebration, and the Humane Society had set up a booth there. And I saw Lucy and immediately fell in love with her. And as my wife says, "You took that dog out of someone's hands." Actually, it was a little girl, and I said, "Yes, but I'm taking the dog home." The girl was just playing with it. The wife always teased me about that, but I brought Lucy home and we bonded. I did get her for my wife. I wanted her to bond with my wife because I knew my wife's cat at that time was 18 years old, and I knew she wasn't going to last much longer. And I thought it'd be great for Terry to have another pet. Well, you know, it's the way things go. Sometimes they just don't work out like you planned. Lucy bonded with me. She never was Terry's puppy. She was with me at my side constantly. But according to what the vet told us when we first brought Lucy to him for an examination, right after we had gotten her from the Humane Society, he said, "Well, the pup looks to be maybe about, a month or two old." He says, "If I was estimating Lucy's birth date, I'd say she's born somewhere around May 15th, 2009. So this year she turned 13, which is rather old for a beagle. A beagle's life expectancy is somewhere between 10 to 15 years. And Lucy actually made it to her 13th birthday. On Sunday night, June the 4th, Lucy was just her normal self. We had spent the evening down at the garden, and that always made that dog so happy. Of course, I always had to keep her on a tether. That was the cat rubbing on the camera. Let me get resituated here. Lucy was on a tether, being a beagle. If she got the scent of a rabbit, she was gone. In her early age, she'd be gone for a couple hours running rabbits. There towards the end, I guess I should say I was lucky that she was back in the house within 15 minutes. She just didn't have the stamina anymore to stay out. So we had a great day. Come in, I fixed some supper for myself and I fed the puppy, and we sat down to watch some TV. And I say we. Lucy never watched TV. She couldn't stand the TV. It actually took my attention, and so she kind of resented that. That's just the way she was. But everything was going along just fine until about, I'd say 7:30 or so. And Lucy went to the door wanting to go out. So I just assumed she wanted to go potty. So I got up and got her collar and leash, and I was going to take her out. Well, Lucy didn't need to go out. Before I could get the door open, she had thrown up a massive amount. And Lucy had been sick at her stomach from time to time, and she would throw up, but nothing like this. And when I went to clean it up, I got to noticing, and there was some, not just some, but quite a bit of dried blood in it. So I knew something was wrong. Before I could get it cleaned up, she threw up again, and it was just a massive amount of fluid. I got everything cleaned up, and then I got to noticing Lucy, and Lucy all of a sudden was getting rather... Dipper boy, please stop hitting my camera. I could tell that something wasn't right. She wasn't able to stand up on her own without wobbling. She wanted to go out. I took her out. It was all she could do to go out and pee on the gravels right next to the sidewalk, and then she came back in. She wound up on the sofa. She couldn't jump on it. I lifted her up and set her on the sofa. She jumped back down. She was just miserable. She went over to the footstool that she always sat on in the great room where she could see everything that was going on. And she was only up there a few minutes. And there again, I had to help her up on it, and she jumped back down. She just wanted to be on the floor, and she was laying on the floor, and I got to notice, and she'd raise her little head, and she'd lay it down. She'd raise her little head, and she'd lay it down. Well, I kept my eye on her. She still seemed to be a little lethargic, but she seemed okay. So, bedtime, Lucy's always slept on a pad on the bed beside me. I knew she couldn't get up there, so I lifted her up. She laid there for just a minute or two, and then she had to go back down to the floor. And I got to noticing then that something was definitely wrong. Something was just really bad. So I got up, went down and got out of the bed, got down on the floor and checked on her. And I could tell Lucy wasn't doing good at all. And so I got a pillow and I got my blanket and I got right down there on the floor and laid with her because I couldn't do anything till the next morning, Monday morning. And I comforted her. So she was just really, really miserable. So I knew that the vet's office opened at 7 that I took her to. So I put her in the car that morning early, and we were there by about 7:15. And I just called him and I said, I've got to see someone. I don't have an appointment, but my dog is dying. And the little girls come out and helped me bring her in, and I laid her down on the scales and they weighed her, and she weighed 22 pounds. So she hadn't really lost any weight, about where she was when last time I had her to the vet, which was a few months back. And then the little girl picked her up, and Lucy did not like that at all. I think if I'd have picked her up, she'd have been fine, but you've never heard such bellowing from a little puppy in your life. And it was more of a crying moan than a bark. And the little girl took her in and laid her on the examination table, and the vet came in because this was just the nurse tech. And the little lady vet that came in said, she looked first at her gums and she goes, she don't have any color. And I hadn't paid any attention to it. I lifted up Lucy's lips too, and there was no color on her gums. I mean, they were just pale. And she says, there's something really wrong here. She says, we need to take her back and do an ultrasound. The vet brought Lucy back in about 10 to 15 minutes, and she goes, I don't know how to tell you this, but we've done the ultrasound and there's nothing we can do. She said, Lucy's had a really, really large mass in her abdominal cavity, and it's burst. And she said her abdominal cavity is full of fluid and blood. She's just bleeding out on the inside, and there's nothing we can do. So we made the decision to go ahead and put her to sleep, and that was on June the 5th. Of course, I was crying like a little baby that had been beat with a baseball bat. It was just, she had been my companion for 13 years. I mean, she was always at my side. So they gave her a sedative to ease her off, and they told me, they said, now this is going to stop her pain, and this will make her sleepy, and then we'll come back in later and then we'll give her the injection to put her to sleep. And they came back in, and I was still crying. I said, I've got to leave. She says, don't you want to stay for this? I said, no, I want my last memory to be seeing my puppy laying here comfortably sound asleep. And I left. Of course, I had the vets sent her off to be cremated, and I still have her ashes. But it's just been hard, and I know I should have mentioned something on my vlog, because I have lots of comments about Lucy when she's in the videos. I think she was a little more commented on than I was, to be honest with you, but it was just a hard thing to see. Now, for the rest of this vlog, I've gone back and I've gathered up some of my photos, and I've got some little clips, just little parts of clips that I'm going to string together so that you can see who Lucy was. These clips will show you exactly how happy she was as a puppy. And I'm probably not going to get another puppy. I thought I would, but at my age, I probably, with my heart condition, would outlive another puppy, and I don't want to go through that. I did rescue 2 cats after I lost Tippy Tip, and I probably won't I probably won't outlive them either, but they're a lot of company. And in another video, I'll introduce you to my cats, and I am proud to say that they're both kittens. They're just young, but Lily Mae, the little female cat, has been chasing rabbits. Way too big for her to catch, but she is trying to catch things. All right, I'm going to close down my section, and now you're going to see videos and pictures of my little sweet Lucy. You can't go. No, you can't go. No. You have to stay home and protect the house. You have to stay home and protect the house.
We got to work.
Don't believe her. Don't believe her, Lucy. We're going to go play cards and eat. We're going to go play cards with the family and have supper.
But you have to stay. You can't.
Have you ever heard the expression dog tired? Well, Lucy just wants to lay here in the sun while I take time to invite you to join us on our YouTube channel. If you like our videos, we'd like to see you subscribe and click the little bell so that you know about the notifications. If you want to help us, please share our videos on your other social media accounts. Isn't that what you say, Lucy? Oh, you're too sleepy to talk? So you want some people? So you want some people to subscribe to your channel, huh? Is that what you were saying? Oh, I thought it was. All right, I'll tell them for you. Lucy, are you going to tell these people how much fun it is to grow tomatoes indoor, little cherry tomatoes? How much fun it is to garden? Yeah, we've even got some cucumbers. Now, Lucy, don't forget to ask these people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to grow, don't we? Yeah, so I can buy you some more dog biscuits.